Hi everyone, I'm Crystal, the Marketing Director of Socialpeta. Thank you for coming. What I am going to share today are the 2020 first quarter data review of media buys through Japan and South Korea in the game industry. First of all, please allow me to briefly introduce Socialpeta. Socialpeta is a technology company providing data analysis services for the advertising market. We collect advertising data on a global scale by sampling and have already accumulated over 600 million advertising data with millions of data updated every day. Meanwhile, the popularity mentioned in the report is acquired through the calculation of Socialpeta data group. According to the time of creative advertising, the number of contextual advertisements, as well as the estimated advertising effect. Socialpeta did not have data exchange with any network or a third-party platform. All the advertising data were obtained by sampling. Okay. Let's get to today's topic. I'm going to present you in 4 dimensions the overall Q1 data of the mobile game industry in Japan and South Korea, networks, advertisers, ad copy, and ad creative. Before entering the Japanese and South Korean market, I will first bring you the top 5 countries and regions in mobile game revenue in the global market in 2019, of which Japan and South Korea ranked it second and fourth. At the same time, Socialpeta background data tells us that the recent mobile game revenue growth in Japan and South Korea are slightly higher those acquired in the same period for last year, which is perhaps due to the impact of COVID-19. Overall, for game manufacturers, Japanese and South Korean mobile game markets have a large user base and ample opportunity for development. First of all, let's take a look at the Japanese market. With the overall data in Socialpeta background, we sorted out the top 30 free games in Japan over the past 6 months and spotted an upward trend in the number of carry games. Especially after December 2019, the share for carry games is significantly higher than before. Well, the highest ranking of carry games in the charts are climbing. The products categories of carry games in the charts are also on a gradual increase, showing a trend of diversity. Hyper-carry, arcade, puzzle, tile matching, and simulation are the top 5 categories with the biggest DAU annual growth opportunity. In the meanwhile, Japan demonstrates a superb mobile game content consumption capacity and tops of the world in the mobile game industry, for ahead of American per capita consumption. Let's look at the local performance of channels like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram in Japan. To start with, in the distribution of game types on the Facebook channel, it is obvious that casual games take up a larger share in Japan, with puzzle, simulation, and entertainment games adding up to about 56%. Unlike the Facebook channel, role-playing games occupy the majority of shares, nearly 1/3 of the market. Action games come second. Entertainment, adventure, and simulation games have similar shares of the market. In the end, let's check the overall data situation on the Instagram channel. According to Socialpeta Q1 data, puzzle games maintain a high share of the market in the distribution of advertiser tabs. But from the longitudinal perspective, The share of this game category has declined slightly. Based on impression estimates, we conclude that the top 3 advertisers are all carol games. Next, based on the estimates of new impressions of advertisers, we present the top 5 new advertisers in Japan in first quarter. In terms of game types, simulation and strategy game dominate the charts, indicating those designed with minor strategy-based gameplay is favored by Japanese gamers. The number 1 game, Pukin Billiard City, not only has the highest estimates of new impressions, but is also one of the recent biggest creative advertisers in the region. Social Peta fetched more than 20,000 pieces of creative it placed in Japan during Q1. Meanwhile, with the rapid popularity of parlors dramas in Japan, parlors games and live simulation games start to flourish in the region. Now let's have a look at the data analysis of the advertiser Rise of Kingdoms. We at Social Peta discovered the first quarter advertising data shows that its video creative takes an absolutely dominant position. In the advertising networks, Instagram, Facebook, and Audience Network are the 3 major channels. About creative content, let's take a look at 2 examples from Rise of Kingdoms.
Real quick, Future Ian here. Listen, I've teamed up with a game called Rise of Kingdoms. It is a mobile MMO RTS with an inspiration around 11 different civilizations. We got Rome, we got Germany, we got Britain, and we got France and a bunch of others. My civilization that I chose is France. They have some really good stats, and also, you guys know I'm pretty fluent in French. Puis-je aller à la salle de bain sur la tête?
Rise of Kingdoms. Download for free.
全世界4000万ダウンロードと人気沸騰中のライズ・オブ・キングダムがついに日本上陸です。スマホの前に並んだ歴代武将の長蛇の列が話題になっています。
この時代にみんなが揃うなんて夢のようです。
なお、ダウンロード数の4000万人は東京都の人口のおよそ4倍に匹敵するとのことです。
ライズ・オブ・キングダム、バンコク覚醒。
We found it prefers male KOLs that closely resemble gamers for global creative. While in Japan, KOLs have a stronger Bisujo attribute due to the local kawaii culture. In the concluding remarks, the international server highlights the free-to-play advantage, while the Japanese servers highlight the high rating advantage of the game. In creative magnitude, there isn't much difference among the mainstream channels in Japan. But on the Google AdWords channel, the game's creative quantity in Japan is about 30% of that in Europe and America. Whereas on the Instagram channel, the creative quantity in Japan is basically the same as in Europe and America. Our impression estimates also give the top 5 ad copy in Japan. In content, the ad copy highlights the choices of words like download and kawaii. In game types, it is hard to see that many ACG games, with strong regional characteristics, have made their way into the charts. Finally, let's see the characteristics of ad creative in Japan. In picture creative, what I'm showing here is classic creative with a popularity value of 900 plus out of 1000 in the social peta background. It can be seen that in Japan, where ACG culture dominates, exquisite is creative is very popular among the locals. Let's take a look.
"ここに残って大好きな花火を見ていかないの?"
"心配するな。俺がそばにいる。いつになったら人に心配をかける癖は治るんだ?"
君が聞きたい歌は 何でも歌ってあげるよ。キラキラと光り輝く。このような世界はいかがですか？
お前が死ぬかもしれない。他に何か話があるのか？気にしなくていい。ついてこい。これが最後の警告だ。終わりにしよ
う。長く厳しい、終わることのない冬です。
In the meantime, creative text is preferably displayed in oversized copy, which is also the same case with video creative, such as this one. In addition, since card-based gameplay is more prevalent, SSR is also a popular keyword, and this culture has indirectly affected many other mobile games around the globe. In terms of media buy, the Japanese market is also the choice for hyper-casual games in the T1 ladder. For casual creatives ads placed in multiple regions, most of them are displayed through ladder use of language and more direct gameplay, allowing one ad to be usable in multiple regions. Meanwhile, such creative ads for casual games are mainly displayed in the form of videos, such as these two cases. Now, let's look at the South Korean market. In South Korea, the mobile share has overtaken the PC share since 2017, showing broad prospect for the mobile game market. The number of male and female gamers in the South Korean market is basically the same, and most of the gamers are around 40 years old. According to social beta background data, the distribution of game types in the South Korean market is similar to the global trends, with casual games dominating the market. But the difference is that hardcore games like RPGs are also very popular in South Korea. Statistics show that South Korean gamers on average spend the most time in RPGs per month, nearly 3 times higher than on the second-ranked casual puzzle games. At the specific data level, let's first check the data performance on Facebook and Google AdWords. In the distribution of game types on the Facebook channel, puzzle games account for the largest share in the market, while the shares for simulation, entertainment, and role-playing games show little difference. Let's now move to the Google AdWords channel. In the distribution of game types, the overall situation is balanced. Puzzle and entertainment games took up a high share early in Q1, total nearly 50%. And the share of role-playing games picked up slightly late in the first quarter, Based on impression estimates, we conclude that the top 3 advertisers are all casual games as well. According to the estimates of new impressions of advertisers, we present the top 5 new advertisers in South Korea in first quarter. Number 1 is Hyper Casual Game by Monster. The third ranked AFK Arena and Rise of Kingdoms that comes the second in Japan's charts are both from Lili's Games, indicating the company's superb performance in Japan and South Korea in first quarter. The fourth and fifth rankers are both hardcore games. Compared with other regions, hardcore games have gained more attention in the South Korean market. In advertiser analysis, I will bring you the overall data analysis of R5. As a new release, R5 has apparently been given a significant amount of strategic consideration in terms of ad placement selections. At the warming up stage, the advertiser chose a lot of picture creative for promotion and announced the game's launch time with its mystery retained as well. Later, the game picked a lot of video creative and placed it mainly on Facebook, Audience Network, and Instagram. Social Beta background data shows that the number of creative ads is placed in daily exceeds 500. Then, let's take a look at specific creative ads. The first ad is a live-action storyline.
개성 있는 12 클래스들로 이 파티가 가능한 레이드 게임이던데. 자, 그럼 R5 마케팅팀 시작해볼까?
네. 그럼 발표를 시작하겠습니다. 오늘 발표할 내용은 저처럼 이쁜 모델 전략을 통해 신규 게임...
벌써부터 뻔하구만.
네?
또 예쁜 모델 내서 광고 찍을 건가? 다음 발표자 나오게.
엘사원도 욕먹는 PT를 크림빵만 먹으면 쳐오는 저 새끼가 어떻게 성공해. 됐네.
광렬아, 넌 할 수 있어. 탱커에서 강한 전사로 전직하는 거야. 할 수 있다. 전사 원.
그럼 지금부터 발표 시작하겠습니다. 저희 R5는 레이드 특화 게임으로서 5개의 특색 있는 레이드 플레이가 가능합니다. 휴먼 레이드, 보스 레이드,
왜 이렇게 입을 잘 털어?
진영 레이드.
이미 탱딜힐 레이드 게임은 많지 않은가?
땡! 딜 같은 말씀 하지 마십시오. 탱딜힐의 뻔한 역할 조합이 아닌 뱀파이어와 사제의 상극 조합, 힐러끼리도 가능한 조합, 개성있고 다양한 12개 클래스의 화려한 직업 스킬, 새로운 파티 플레이, 레이드 게임이 바로 우리의 R5입니다!
그래, 알겠네. 우리 유저들이 이미 많이 지쳤을 거야. 이번 R5를 통해서 우리 유저들이 정말 행복하길 바라네. 그건 내 진심일세.
회장님이 우리 유저들이 이렇게 생각해 주시다니.
우리가 누구인가?
갑자기
블레이저!
베스트!
메카지로! 뱀파이어! 레이븐! 오소리스!
ゼン
아크레이지! 아크라이트!
힐러!
보스 장미장! 최선을 다해 강한 보스가 될 테니 나를 마음껏 레이드 해주게.
12 클래스, 세상에 없던 파트가 온다. R5.
The conflict in a live-action storyline gave users a urge to click, and the selected theme is also directed at target users. The celebrity element also helps the game quickly attract traffic in the early stage. And its fine production also facilitates capturing or clipping for secondary creation in the later stage. And the second ad is a live commentary. Let's take a look.
야, 연이 진짜 이쁘다. 아, 이거 어쩌지? 야, 일단 눈부터 시작해볼게. 눈이 보시다시피 너무 이뻐요. 네네, 아, 정말 미인이시구나. 입은 이렇게 하면 될 것 같아요. 그쵸? 그쵸? 네, 얼굴형이 잘 안 보이는데 먼저 머리부터 할까? 네, 턱은 아마 네네네. 야, 마늘 찌르도 되겠네. 앞뒤는 별로 상관없네요. 무서워. 대박! 뭐야, 이거. 네, 지금 립스틱을 하겠습니다.
발음 똑바로.
취했어? 야, 취했어? 아, 진짜. 야, 진짜 이거 뭐야? 야, 나도, 제발 나도. 아, 너무 못생겼다. 아니, 미안해. 야, 핑크 이거 정말 대박이다. 피부색은
똑바로.
깜둥이로 할까? 핑크의 깜둥이. 대박이네. 퍼펙트. 이 아리차고 촉촉한 느낌. 제일 마지막으로 나 이쁜가요? 이뻐! 수고하셨습니다. 네, 30분 후 다른 캐릭터 나왔습니다.
그만해.
The advantage of live commentary is that it's more contagious and endorsement by someone else, conducive to the higher acceptance of the game. Our impression estimates also give the top 5 ad copy in South Korea, of which the military theme prevails. Ad copy in South Korea's charts generally runs for a longer time, but its impression magnitude is not as good as in Japan. Now, let's see the characteristics of ad creative in South Korea. First, the comics industry is also developed in South Korea, but compared with ad creative in Japan, picture creative in South Korea have a stronger style and rougher lines. Second, South Korea's pop culture industry is highly developed with strong influence on the whole of Asia. So, game creative in South Korea also has an extremely strong K-pop element. Let's take a look.
게임은 뭐니 해도 손맛. 이제 모두들 손 떼. 하루 종일 매여 있지 않아도 가끔씩만 만져줘도 게임은 원래 이 맛이야. RPG 본색 AFK 아레나.
Third, the impression of Asian culture is also prominent, especially in videos marketed with Asian symbols, like the Three Kingdoms. Alright, so all the data shared today comes from Social Peta. If you have any questions about what we've shared or our data products, you can leave your comments at the bottom or visit www.socialpeta.com to get your demo. Thanks for your time. Goodbye.